the importance of black unity. The economy won't survive without our unity. We've got to be on the same mindset as those of the Jews and the Indians. We see them every day, how they protect their culture, their economy. They've even ring-fenced that economy. You know, they can't buy lokshini because you don't sell halal. For the Jewish, you don't sell kosher. So, tinag, we are then supposed to slave. And what they do, bapupangati, they just dream, you know, about what product am I going to manufacture for these Africans who are lazy, you know, who can't think for themselves. We are a majority. We have a critical buying power. If we were to leverage that buying power for, you know, ourselves, so that we are able to change the dynamic, you know, in terms of, you know, our social condition, economic condition. So, see you, but everybody is selling to us, but we're not selling anything to them. That's the problem. When you hear people talk about the economy, that the economy is going to be affected if, you know, we riot and demand justice. You know, that economy, you must be careful, because that economy, it's not direct investment. It's an economy that goes in and out because it operates at the stock market. At the stock market, I can put 10 billion US today. By tomorrow, I take it out and put it in the Hong Kong stock market. So we can't depend on that. We can't depend on that because we are at the mercy of, you know, merciless people. All that they see in us are people who are going to, it's a market, basically. People who are going to buy their products and services. And we are so happy to do that as Africans. You would then, you know, have a problem to support a black brother. Why? Because you think that that brother would actually, you know, come out of economic depression. You know, so that's the mentality that we need to kill. It's an obligation for us to support. It's not a choice. We've got to reach to that level whereby I'm obliged as an African person to support another African person in whatever business that they are doing, because that is how we are going to grow. Okay, let's go to 1994. 1994, what happened? There was, it happened, then there was what is called the fear of the unknown amongst the white people. And at the time, they were ready and willing to offer equity for free to black entrepreneurs. I know that because I was part of those negotiations, whereby by now, at least the stock market could have been 50% owned by African people. But then, in that process of negotiations, because white people didn't know what's going to happen after the election, so they were really, really and genuinely, you know, engaging with, you know, black people, offering those equities, you know, for free, as I say. But then there was this call for reconciliation. That call by Udata, your reconciliation, it then, you know, cancelled all those negotiations, because the arrogance of white people then started to emerge again. Because they thought that they didn't have to clear their conscience by offering, you know, equity to black people. Why? Because now they are being protected by the ANC, which is unfortunate. That is why today, if you look at the stock market, we are less than 5%. How many years after this democracy? How many years? Huh? So you tell me then, what will happen, you know? How are we going to get to 10%? Why? Because we are not even supported financially. You know, the Afrikaners, when they took over, they set up false cars, all these banks that were geared towards supporting Afrikaners and their businesses. And, government at the time raised that money. They didn't care whether they lose it, but as long as they see the Afrikaner succeed. So unfortunately, we don't have that support. We have people who are still compromising instead of being open about, supporting black people, because it's our right. We have been affected. All these billions that are there in the stock market, they were created unjustly. They had the advantage. They took our wealth. They were supposed to pay. They were supposed to pay, and they are still going to pay these white people. Hey, because we're put in this condition not because we like to be in this position of poverty. We're wealthy people. I mean, I didn't care, because I had my land, I had my cows. I was living, righteously. So then white people came here and destroyed that. So somehow they've got to pay. They will just be left like that. When some lawyers and some activists started demanding justice, who protected them? Our government. They said it's not necessary for all these companies from the US and Europe that supported apartheid. Do you know that even today, part of the reason that you are in this economic situation is because you're paying for debt, for handshake of the poor generals. They were put in a corner. Now they go to de Klerk and say, de Klerk, for us to really release this hold, in our heart, give us so many millions and billions, then we will forget everything. The ANC went and negotiated with the World Bank to get that loan, to pay these people. After all the mess that they've done to us, we are still paying that debt today. There's no justice in that. So it's about then changing the program. Let us change the mindset, because it's all about that. Let us relook at the people that we hold as leaders. After 94, there were so many political parties. You are weakening yourself. The head is there, the arm is there, the legs are there, everywhere. And we are facing this monster that is well entrenched and wealthy. Local near screamer, in your individual capacity, I have a better philosophy to serve, African people. That is self-preservation. It had nothing to do with us, because the most logical thing these leaders should have done was to unite in 94 and form a black forum of some sort, to say, as much as we differ politically, but this is where we will meet as a collective. They are still entrenching that division even today. They are all fighting to represent you within a structure. Remember, I said, I don't know whether it was last week, all republics on the continent are a crime against humanity. In 1973, the UN declared that the Republic of South Africa is a crime against, humanity. But then our leaders come and preside over that structure and paint it. It's a white structure painted black. That is why we're in this position, socially, culturally, and economically. So unity of thought and action for African people, for us to liberate ourselves, we need to change the mindset.